Just saying how I feel, man. I ain't one of the Cosby's, I ain't go to heal, man.
Kanye West, now legally Ye, is an American artist, producer, designer, and culture-scale provocateur who treats every release like a systems update. He bends sound, silhouette, and conversation. He also courts turbulence. Let me tell you, the resume is heavy. A producer who rewired radio in the 2000s, a rapper who made Vulnerability chart, a designer who dragged sneaker culture into high fashion, and a live show architect who turned stages into sculpture. His birth name is Kanye Omari West. Born June 8, 1977 in Atlanta, Georgia, raised mostly in Chicago by a college professor mother after his parents split. Height, about 5'8". The tells arrived early, obsessive loop digging, sketchbooks full of clothing ideas, a chip on the shoulder that powered a work ethic few can match. Offstage, he drafts in bursts, melodies, mood boards, runway silhouettes, stage grids. Moreover, he likes building in public. Process becomes product. Experiments become headlines. Quirk file. Ye designs like a chef. Limited palettes, precise textures, dramatic plating. He favors earth tones, oversized proportions, and monochrome uniforms that read utilitarian and future at the same time. He storyboards shows as architecture, floating stages, stadium catwalks, light rigs that feel like weather. He also oscillates between solitude and spectacle, weeks of quiet prototyping, then a listening event that looks like an installation. Love him or not, the man commits. Relationships and family shape the timeline. Ye married Kim Kardashian in 2014. They share 4 children and co-parent with tight security and schedules that respect school before press. Since then, his dating life has kept the internet busy, but the constant is fatherhood. He talks about legacy like it's an architectural drawing his kids will one day live inside. The professional circle ebbs and flows. Producers, designers, and engineers rotating as ideas and seasons change. But the pattern remains. He builds tribes, then moves when the work needs a new room. Origin story? Beat tapes and stubbornness. As a teenager, he sold instrumentals around Chicago, then caught ears with tracks like Izzo HOA, a producer tag the whole industry could hear. After a near-fatal car accident, he recorded Through the Wire with his jaw wired shut, proof that momentum wasn't optional. The college dropout made backpack rap mainstream. Late registration and graduation scaled it. 808s and Heartbreak changed the temperature of pop. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy argued that maximalism could be microscopic and precise. Later eras, Yeezus, The Life of Pablo, Ye, and Donda kept resetting the palette. Abrasions, choirs, stadiums, softness, and steel. Career mechanics matter. Ye is a producer-founder type. Executive creates the album, then executive produces the brand that merchandises the feeling. Yeezy restructured the sneaker market. Limited drops, neutral tones, shape-first design, and price ladders that paid for experimentation. He pushed ready-to-wear ideas, calmer colors, armored silhouettes, and proved that athleisure could be high concept. Sunday Service introduced choir as brand. Arenas became cathedrals of sound, where set lists were fluid, and lighting did design. Money Talk, grown-up edition. Ye's income has long come from braided streams, publishing and masters, tour settlements, fashion and footwear royalties or margins, collabs and licensing, and real estate. The volatility is real. So is the scale. Deals end, new ones appear. Valuations move with partnerships and public temperature. Moreover, he tends to trade fixed fees for upside. When it works, it compounds. When it doesn't, you'll hear about it on the timeline.
As of 2025, public estimates of Ye's net worth swing widely with footwear contracts, private company marks, and catalog valuations. The conservative read, hundreds of millions tied to music rights, apparel IP, and assets. The aggressive read climbs when sneaker economics and new partnerships run hot. Either way, the engine is leverage. Own the idea, own the story around it, and negotiate like the next drop pays for the next chapter. Now to the ranches. Ye planted flags in Wyoming in the late 2010s, transforming land near Cody into a creative compound. Recording spaces, design barns, off-road trails, and big sky privacy that lets prototypes breathe. Think wide acreage, practical structures, and utility vehicles more than lawn ornaments. The ranch vibe doubles as R&D lab, boots in dirt, drones in air, choir on a hill at golden hour. Over time, Holdings evolved with projects and seasons, but the blueprint stuck. Get space, make noise far from the internet's noise, and test ideas against wind and weather before cities see them. Houses? Yee's footprint has ranged from Hidden Hills family life to minimalist coastal experiments, concrete, raw wood, and glass that lets light be the art. Interiors tend toward monastic, soft edges, low furniture, and negative space that quiets the brain. He likes rooms that behave like blank pages, kitchens that look like labs, bedrooms that feel like gallery silence. When he nests in a city, he picks places that put studios within a short drive and legal documents within arm's reach. Cars? Where utility meets concept, Yee's garage toggles between armored elegance, sneaker-matched minimalism, and off-road toys made to get dusty. Expect G-Class variants, Maybach sedans, or SUVs when the day needs glide, and custom vans configured as rolling war rooms, mood boards, hard drives, and sound systems that can stage a listening party in a parking lot. For terrain, he has piloted Sherp-style amphibious rigs, side-by-sides, and trucks built for ranch work rather than red carpet. EVs appear when routing and torque make the case. He likes quiet acceleration and the design freedoms that come with skateboard platforms. Lifestyle rhythm, sprints, and Sabbaths. He works in creative bursts, days of arranging stems until dawn, hours of draping a hoodie until it falls like a lyric, then disappears to recalibrate. Fitness phases cycle with projects, weights and mobility to support long stage nights, hikes and ranch work for baseline conditioning. Nutrition runs intentional when recording, looser when the project dethrones the calendar. Sleep is the variable. He'll trade hours for an idea if the idea insists. Meanwhile, notebooks multiply. Titles, sketches, lyric shards, production notes. The man takes his own brain seriously, even when the world thinks he's just being loud.
Public image versus operating system. The persona is unfiltered. The engine is iterative design. Yee is a serial collaborator who invites tension into the room on purpose because friction makes sparks. He respects engineers and pattern makers the way he respects drummers and sample wranglers, craft first. He also treats audiences as co-creators, listening parties that actually change mixes, merch that arrives like a mood test, shows that morph from rehearsal to ritual. He can be generous to crews and hard on timelines. He can be wildly public and then gone for months. The through line is compulsion. Ideas have to get out. Philanthropy and community move in waves. He has funded education initiatives, arts programs, and local projects tied to his hometown and his teams, often quietly, sometimes loudly. He hires young designers, promotes producers from the B room to the A room, and tries to build infrastructure where he once only borrowed it. The church-adjacent pivot put choirs and musicians in stadiums. The fashion pivots open doors for non-traditional models and silhouettes outside the runway's narrow norms. Where is he in 2025? Releasing selectively, prototyping relentlessly, and recalibrating the business around partnerships that tolerate experimentation. Expect capsule drops over monolithic seasons, site-specific live experiences instead of traditional tours, and music that still swings between confession and confrontation. The ranch chapter remains a design lab. The city addresses function as hubs when the calendar stacks. With Ye, the plan is usually a noun, build. So what's next? More ownership, more hard resets, more artifacts that split rooms and then fill them 6 months later. The trophies tell one story. The ripples tell the rest. When a drum pattern needs a new spine, when a hoodie needs to fall like a sentence, or when a stadium needs to feel like a chapel, Ye will do what he's built to do. Push, pare back, push again, and ship the version no one else would have risked. Let me tell you, that's the lifestyle. Volatile, inventive, and engineered for impact. Net worth that rides the wave, ranches that think like studios, and cars that move the mission more than the moment.